Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these videos every single weekday. We are talking about the latest crypto news. We are then going to take a look at the price of Bitcoin, analyze the chart and take a look at the CME gap from over the weekend as well. We have a lot to discuss today, so let's get straight into it. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin right now. It's currently sat at $27,390, up 1.95% in the last 24 hours. And Ethereum is up to 1,828, up by 1.3% in the last 24 hours. Now, last week, every single day we were coming on this stream and we were saying it's been another 1% drop, it's been another 0.5% drop. We were just kind of in this slow bleed down to last week, but this morning we have seen some positive movement, so it's feeling a little bit better than it was last week. Even the top 10 cryptocurrencies all seem to be green. The only ones that seem to be red are really the stable coins that are just jittering around the 0% changes. So it's not all bad in the world of cryptocurrency this morning. However, we do have a CME gap that we need to be aware of. So we will be looking at that at the end of today's stream. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end. Let's take a look at what's going on in the news now. So first of all, we are taking a look at the Ordinals BRC20 tokens. Now let's take a look at what this is. So if you want to learn anything about what's going on in cryptocurrency, if you hear any terms that you're not quite sure about, make sure to go to Crypto Saving Experts Encyclopedia. If you just search the website here for any terms that you're unsure about, you'll be able to find the encyclopedia. So we've got one here on Ordinals. And just to explain these quickly, because they are a pretty new concept. It really began to become very popular in January this year. Ordinals are being used to create unique and valuable non-fungible tokens that represent specific moments in time. So for the Bitcoin blockchain, each block is given a unique ordinal value based on its position in the chain, and this value is then used to create a one-of-a-kind NFT representing that specific block. So this is what's happening. And then it was great. It was everything. It was becoming very popular. But now engineers and developers are realizing that this is actually causing quite a lot of congestion on the Bitcoin network, and it may create some problems. In fact, it is creating some problems. Transaction fees are increasing as a result of these. So there's a bit of a debate going on in the developer side of Bitcoin right now, deciding whether we can continue forward with these or they need to be blocked from the network. So let's take a look at this article here. We have developers raised the debate to censor Ordinals BRC20 tokens. Bitcoin blockchain engineers are debating how to control the on-chain frenzy in response to the staggering number of BRC20 tokens created via the Ordinals protocol. And the influx of creations jams the Bitcoin network and drove transaction fees parabolic. So that's obviously a concern that we have. We don't really want that to take place. And so there is a bit of a debate going on right now. We can see here the discussion surrounding Ordinals is taking place on the Bitcoin Dev mailing list, which facilitates debates concerning the advancement of Bitcoin, and opinions are divided on whether more drastic measures should be taken to halt the unexpected rise of BRC20 mints. For purists of a blockchain built to be a decentralized peer-to-peer payment network free from censorship, it has presented an existential conflict despite being a windfall for Bitcoin miners. So what's happening here is obviously we've all come into the decentralized space. We want to be able to create whatever we want, create these fantastic technologies and build on them in whichever way we want to. However, so by pausing these ordinals and saying, look, this isn't working for the Bitcoin network, that's kind of censoring that side of the technology. However, having all of these BRC20 tokens is causing congestion on the network, meaning that transaction fees are rising. So it's causing a huge amount of conflict right now, and is a very strong debate to be had. Let me know in the chat what you think. So should the amount of BRC20 tokens on Bitcoin be controlled, or do you think this is part of being a decentralized network, and if they exist, we should leave them to run? Where we can see here, transaction costs increase on the Bitcoin network, and this indirectly impacts users. So due to the skyrocketing fees, some Bitcoin users have been compelled to look for alternative payment methods, such as stablecoins. Binance has already announced incorporating the Lightning Network, a layer 2 scaling solution for Bitcoin. Now, we all know that. This is when we create transactions off the blockchain and then push them all onto the blockchain at once to lower transaction fees. But we can see here that BRC20 tokens are really creating a problem for the transaction fees. So let me know in the chat what you think about these, whether we should continue with them or we should be looking to censor them off the blockchain. So let me know in the chat. And if you want more information on that, obviously go to cryptosavingexpert.com, the best cryptocurrency website out there. Let's move on to the next article now, because we have a couple more interesting articles in today's stream. Next, we need to take a look at CBDCs being banned. Now, Texas have introduced a bill to ban central bank digital currencies. Now, I know a lot of people in the chat today, there's some familiar faces in there, and I have seen that we don't like central bank digital currencies here in this chat, and this has been an opinion that has come up many times. A lot of people in the chat are not very happy with the idea of central bank digital currencies because of the fears surrounding them. But we have seen here that Texas is introducing a bill to ban them. Now, Texas is a very cryptocurrency friendly state. If we go to the bottom of this article here, we could see here that the state has become a popular destination for crypto mining operations due to its affordable energy prices and friendly regulatory environment. And now I would say Texas is incredibly friendly in terms of regulation for cryptocurrencies. So it has been pushing cryptocurrencies in the right direction for a while now. We've seen many different bills be introduced in the state to try and help cryptocurrencies continue to develop. And we can see here that, let's take a look at this article in a bit more detail. So the lawmakers believe CBDCs as a digital form of money would be a liability to the Federal Reserve rather than commercial banks. And the draft proposal added that this could lead to unprecedented government surveillance and control over private cash holdings and transactions. Now, this isn't just an opinion that the creators of this draft have. A lot of people, especially within the cryptocurrency space, are aware of the kind of control that can be created if a CBDC was actually to be put in place and actually to be utilized. So there are already fears around central bank digital currencies, and Texas state is saying these are the fears, and this is why we don't want that to start having a central bank digital currency. Now we can see here the document has stated many central bank digital currency proposals involve the centralized collection of transaction data, which poses major privacy and security risks, such as making it easier for intruders to access the data of more users. The implementation of a CBDC would make countless US citizens more vulnerable to intrusive federal oversight and security threats. Now, that is something that obviously I've just said everybody is fearful of when it comes to central bank digital currencies, and for Texas state to just say these are the fears and this is why we want to ban the idea of them completely, and it's a big move here. So let's take a look here. In the proposal, it's stated that individuals have the right to utilize a mutually approved medium of exchange like cryptocurrencies to transact for goods and services, and their freedom to do so should not be restricted or violated. And that's something that Texas are really pushing here. They're pushing, and they have been pushing for months here, that cryptocurrencies are here and we should have the ability to use them if we want to. So that is what's happening over in Texas. They are making strong moves towards cryptocurrencies and against central bank digital currencies. Very cryptocurrency friendly state, and they continue to push the industry in the correct direction. So hopefully some other states will continue to follow suit. Let's take a look at the next article now and see what's going on here. We have Elon Musk to step down as Twitter's CEO. Now, the billionaire's unnamed successor will take over the role of Twitter CEO by late June or early July. Now, we do now know the name of the new Twitter CEO, and we have an article on it today. Let's find it. It is somewhere within these 20,000 articles that we are going to run through today. Let's take a look. Let's go back to this article here and type in, this is how we use the Crypto Saving Expert website. This is being used as an example instead. There is an article on the website that talks about this. I should have pulled this up earlier. What a mess. Let's take a look at the chat quickly. Jason Smith said it's a field of green. It really is. People are feeling positive in crypto this morning, I think. It's a good way to start the week. Positive Monday. What more could we ask for? These are all the articles we are going to be discussing in today's stream. Do you know what? We're not going to find it. This is the news that Elon Musk is stepping down as Twitter's CEO. So let's move on to the next article here. We have Montenegro's court releases Terra Do Kwon on $437,000 bail. Now, in the live stream on Friday, I believe, we were discussing the debate on whether he should be let out on bail or not because he was a flight risk. Let's take a look at this. who will be placed under house arrest at an address provided by their defense lawyer until the next trial hearing. So a court in Montenegro has agreed to release Terraform Labs co-founder and former CEO Do Kwon and a bail pending a trial on document forgery charges. So these are on the charges that you forged documents and personal ID. So we can see here, let's get to the good bits of this article. The court placed the two defendants on a 30-day pre-trial detention, believing the possibility of losing the posted bail would dissuade them from fleeing. The duo also informed the court that they had properties worth millions and that their wives would post the bill. Kwon and June stated that if the bail was set, they would not hide until the conclusion of the criminal proceedings. And on Thursday, there was an objection to the bail proposal, arguing the duo had no interest in staying in Montenegro until the subsequent trial. However, the court decided the bail would be added to a particular section of its working budget if the house arrest were compromised. So in addition, the Montenegrin court deemed it necessary to verify the authenticity of the travel documents and identity cards, which Kwon and their associate claimed were valid and issued by Belgian authorities. Now, Kwon has pleaded not guilty. As I said last week, this is something that we expected. It would be very interesting to see the major negative impacts that we've seen on the cryptocurrency industry in 2022 were as a result of Do Kwon and SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX. Now, these two people have massive impacts on the crypto industry, and it will be very interesting to see the repercussions that these two people get. Now, we know that SBF is looking to try and wiggle his way out of a couple of the charges. He's been charged with like 14 different things, SBF, and he's now trying to dismiss 10 of those. And we are now seeing Do Kwon pleading not guilty as expected, and we are seeing him be put on bail similar to SBF has right now. So it'll be interesting to see throughout this year the repercussions that these two people get, and if they manage to worm their way out of all these problems. It'll be a very, very interesting one. As I've been saying on these live streams, when FTX first collapsed, Jordan, that Martini guy, predicted that FTX would relaunch as a cryptocurrency exchange once again, and that SBF would somehow manage to get out of all of the problems that has occurred. And so far, it is possible, and it's becoming more and more likely that FTX will be rebooted as an exchange. And so far, we are waiting to see if SBF manages to get his wiggle out of the 10 charges that he's trying to currently get out of. So maybe that Martini guy's predictions will come true after all. Let's take a look at the next article here and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. Let's move on. Binance to exit Canada amid new crypto rules. So regulation, again, has moved Binance out of a jurisdiction. We've seen this over and over again in the US. The US's SEC are regulating cryptocurrency companies way too harshly, in my opinion, and it's causing these companies just to decide to move out of the jurisdiction because the clarity around regulation is not clear. They're choosing to leave the jurisdiction and not get involved rather than trying to cooperate with the regulators, because it seems that cooperating with the regulators just still isn't good enough. The regulators just aren't happy with cryptocurrency companies, and as a result of this, companies are moving out of the US. We are now seeing Binance move out of Canada, but we are seeing these companies move into other jurisdictions instead. They're not just making their operations smaller. We've seen a huge boost of cryptocurrency companies in Asia, specifically in Hong Kong, where regulation seems to be a little bit more cryptocurrency friendly and where banks are happy to interact with cryptocurrency companies. So it's not that Binance are winding down, it's that they are just changing their goals, moving away from the regulation that is just too strict for them to allow them to operate in a fair way, and moving into different jurisdictions. And this is why many people believe that Asia will actually be at the forefront of the next bull market. So we will be keeping an eye on that. Let's take a look at the next article now and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. We have Robinhood wants its users trading stocks 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So Robinhood is rolling out 24-hour trading 5 days a week for popular ETFs and stocks such as Tesla and Amazon. The 24-hour trading will initially be available to a small group of traders beginning the 16th of May, and the full launch is expected in June. So they are trying to push their traders to trade 24/7. They've said crypto never sleeps is a common saying in the crypto community. cryptocurrency, as anyone can trade digital assets at any time of the day. That's a massive difference between people looking to invest in the stock market investing in cryptocurrency as well. And that is a major advantage that cryptocurrencies have, the ability to trade them 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Robinhood plans for 24-hour trading between Sunday 8 p.m. and Friday 8 p.m. ET, and will likely revolutionize the traditional stock market industry, forcing other companies offering similar services to reconsider aligning themselves with the new trend. So interesting article. I wonder how many of you are actually involved in cryptocurrencies and stocks. I know a lot of people believe there's a lot of division between the two. People tend to either be invested in cryptocurrencies or be invested in stocks and not really cross over. People that have been in stocks first tend to think that cryptocurrencies are just too volatile and they don't want to get involved, and people that have been in cryptocurrencies first just don't see the appeal of going into stocks where you see like a 10% gain over a year. So there doesn't seem to be too much of a crossover. However, I feel like cryptocurrency based stocks are something that are really interesting right now. It's definitely something I'm looking at. I do invest in a couple of stocks, but my portfolio is majorly in cryptocurrencies, but I have seen some cryptocurrency based stocks perform very, very well over the years. I'm starting to think, why aren't I taking advantage of this? I know everything about the cryptocurrency industry, so why not put some of my exposure, put some of my portfolio into stocks as well and spread that exposure a little bit more. So that is what I'm looking at. Very interestingly, I know during the bear market, mining companies were struggling and a couple of mining companies did have to shut down. So investing in a mining company during a bear market does have higher risk. However, the bounce back that mining companies have had in the last couple of months has been incredible. I mean, I was looking at some major mining company stocks just last week, looking at their change since the start of the year. So they've increased they've done a 200% increase since the start of the year, and that is something you don't really see in the stock market. It's something you see in cryptocurrency, but that's outperforming Bitcoin. So investing in Bitcoin mining stocks has sometimes outperformed Bitcoin this year. Obviously, you are taking on a much bigger risk investing in a mining stock when Bitcoin is at $16,000, in my opinion anyway, but the potential that they have obviously is incredible. So that's something that I'm looking at. Cryptocurrency based stocks are something that I feel comfortable in because I know a lot about the cryptocurrency industry. So that is something I'm taking a look at. Just thought I'd drop that in there in case anybody else is interested in expanding their portfolio and wanted to know where to look. That's where I'm looking. Let's take a look at this next article here anyway. We have Tether monitors its customers' transfers for potential sanctions violations. Before we get into this article, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We currently have 3,013 subscribers here on the channel, and we're on a mission to get to 100,000 subscribers. I think when the bull market starts to really tick off, that is when we'll see the big gain in subscribers and people will start getting interested in the cryptocurrency industry. However, those of you that are interested now when the prices are low are the ones that will perform the best, typically. We currently have 9 likes on today's stream. We could do better than that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We do these live streams every single weekday talking about what's going on in the markets. And at the end of today's stream, we will be taking a look at the Bitcoin price as well, doing some analysis and taking a look at the CME gap too. But let's for now take a look at this article here. We have Tether's CTO tweeted that the company monitors all its customer transactions for potential sanctions violations, and he added that the company uses Chainalysis to screen the transactions. So according to the company's CTO, Tether screens these transactions using Chainalysis for links to wallets belonging to harmful or criminal entities, as well as all customers are risk rated and periodically checked as part of our enhanced due diligence processes. These practices are in line with bank caliber AML programs, and we automatically on an ongoing basis monitor all customers for potential sanctions and adverse media matches using World Check. Our transfers to and from our customers are screened with Chainalysis for links to potentially high risk wallets. So Tether is not a US company, the CTO has said, and Tether works with global law enforcement and regulators. There seems to be an obsession with Tether, says the CTO. So he said, while the world has been obsessed with Tether for the last many years, several companies, public and private, along with some notable US ones, failed their investors, taking insane amount of risks that are far from Tether risk and management policies. So there's been a lot of speculation around Tether over the years. Over and over again, Tether have failed to provide much clarity when they're providing audits, showing that they have the reserves that they say they have. However, through thick and thin, they've managed to continue to be pegged to the dollar. We've seen UST depeg, we've seen USDC depeg, but we've just seen USDT hold strong. And over the years, the clarity around their reserves has become much, much better. And they've been really working hard on that. And now the CTO is saying, look at all the speculation that's been surrounding us. There's been so much FUD around USDT over the years, but they're the ones still standing. So that is what they're saying in this article, essentially. And it is true, USDT are still standing. Who would have thought it? Over the years, there's been so much speculation that USDT would just fail and fail, but it's just continued to hold on to that peg and become provide more and more clarity for its investors. Let's take a look at the next article here. We have Vietnamese ex-police officers accused of $1.5 million crypto theft. The police officers initially admitted their roles in the case, but later claimed they did not know the gang would rob the victim. So let's take a look at this. 2 former Vietnamese police officers have been accused alongside 14 residents of stealing crypto assets worth $1.5 million and kidnapping. And now this isn't the first instance that we've seen of this. With cryptocurrencies, if you have access to the private key, you have access to the funds. It's that simple. So this is where we see a little bit more crime within the cryptocurrency industry, because getting access to funds is very, very, well, not easy, but it's something that is available to those malicious players within the world. Let's take a look at the next article now, because I am aware that we are running on a little bit long in today's stream. So let's get through these articles, and then we've got 3 articles. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin price, an Ethereum prediction, and a Chainlink prediction as well. So we have NBC Universal's Linda Lacarino to become Twitter CEO. Here's what you need to know. This is the article I was looking for earlier in today's stream. So if you want to know a little bit more about her and how she's been chosen to be the CEO, who she is, and what you can think about this, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and you can read through this article. Let's take a look at the next one though. Crypto lender Nexo to shut down UK subsidiaries. Let's take a look at this article. So this is in line with its restructuring plans. So the popular cryptocurrency lender is shutting down 2 of its UK-based subsidiaries, and it faces regulatory uncertainty in other parts of Europe and North America. Now, they will dissolve the UK units, according to Bloomberg, and the co-founder has revealed that the latest development aligns with the company's restructuring plans to rethink how it provides services. And they've notified that Nexo would continue operations in the country. So the decision to dissolve its UK units came 1 month after the company seized its EIP offering in the US as part of a settlement with the SEC. And the lender disclosed in December 22 that the earned interest product offering would no longer be available for all US citizens, including residents and citizens, from the 1st of April. So what we've seen here is regulation has absolutely hammered Nexo. So they're really struggling to continue. They've had to stop offering some services to different people in different jurisdictions. And now they are dissolving some companies in the UK as well. So they're really trying to work forwards. Now, obviously, they are a major company. They're a huge company. They have all of these clients and they have all of this whole network and this liquidity ready to go. They just need to find the jurisdictions and the regulations in which they can offer some services to continue working. So let's move on to the next article here. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button. We do these live streams every single weekday, so make sure to join in and not miss out on what's going on in the world of crypto. And we can see here OpenAI's CEO in talks to raise $100 million for Worldwide Coin project. Now, as I was talking about in Friday's live stream, I believe, Worldwide Project is a project that is looking to be utilized for different AI technology. And although the project may not have some incredible, like it may have some great features. It may be something that we've seen before, but the real selling point on this WorldCoin is the utility that is provided with it. If it's offered, integrated within different AI, then it could be a really good project. So that's one I'm definitely keeping an eye on. But let's take a look at the next article here. We have Ethereum could be valued at $11.8 thousand by 2030. I wonder how many of you are Ethereum investors in the chat. Let me know. And we can see here the analysts at Van Eck have predicted that Ether could be valued at $11.8 $11.8 thousand by 2030, assuming that the Ethereum network dominates the smart contract arena. Now, interestingly, let me know if you think this prediction is bullish or bearish. We have seen, if we take a look at the Ethereum chart very quickly here, let's take a look at how, oh, we're already on the Ethereum chart. It's like it heard me. No, we're not. Are we? Are we not? Saying Ethereum here, but it's not saying Ethereum on the chart itself. Let's take a look at this now. Trading view seems to have messed up here. Let's see if we... No, we're not having any luck there. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe we should take a look at Crypto Saving Expert instead, the best cryptocurrency website out there. So we can see here on the daily chart, if we go back all the way back to the bull run in 2021 at December time. I should have known that. And we have seen a high already of $4,860. Now, if we have a prediction of $11.8 thousand by 2030... I think that's pretty bearish. How many bull markets we should have if the 4-year cycles continue? Obviously, that is an if. I always speak about them as if it's a definite, and I have to remember that I should say if. If the 4-year cycles continue to happen, we should be in our. We should have had 2 more bull runs by then. So for $11.8 thousand to me, could sound a little bit bearish. Let me know in the chat if you think that's bullish or bearish, or you think it's pretty accurate and that's the price you could see in 2030. Let's take a look at this article a little bit further. The analysts have wrote, we now see ETH network revenues rising from an annual rate of $2.6 billion to $51 billion in 2030. Assuming ETH takes a 70% market among smart contract protocols, this implies a token price of $11.8 thousand in 2030, which we discount to $5.3 thousand today at a 12% cost of capital derived from ETH's recent beta. So they are taking a look at the network. Now, also, this is another debate to be had. Ethereum changed from proof of work to proof of stake. The transaction fees in Ethereum have been incredibly high recently, and this is something that many people expected the merge to solve. Hasn't been solved. Will Ethereum continue to dominate the smart contract arena within the next bull markets? I personally think it will. I think in this industry, history is important. We see blockchains that provide the services that Bitcoin provides, but they don't have, and they may have faster transaction speeds, they may have lower transaction fees, but because Bitcoin has been around for the longest and it's put itself in that spot as the #1 cryptocurrency, I don't think it can get knocked out by any of these alternatives. And I personally think the same is happening for Ethereum. I think for something to overtake Ethereum, for another smart contract arena to overtake Ethereum, is incredibly difficult, and I think the probability of that is really low. Even though we do have some rivalry networks that provide us with better features like faster transaction fees and faster transaction speeds and lower transaction fees, I just think because Ethereum has been around for the longest, it's hard to overtake that. But let me know what you think in the chat. Rainer said that he thinks this is a bit low for Ethereum. I do too. I do think it will continue to dominate the space that it's in, and for a competitor of Ethereum to overtake it is incredibly difficult. So I do expect that it will continue to be the #2 cryptocurrency for the foreseeable future. Let's take a look at the next article here. We have Bitcoin's head and shoulders pattern could cause a drop to $25,000 or $24,000. Now, this is not what we wanted to see today. But let's take a look at this. Crypto Twitter community members have identified a head and shoulder pattern on the 1-day Bitcoin chart, with many speculating it could signal a drop to $25,000 or even $24,000. So let's take a look at this on the price chart for Bitcoin right now. So let's take a look at the daily chart for Bitcoin. Let's remove all of the lines I'm seeing right now. Let's take a look at this one a little bit closer. So this is looking from the move to the upside that we saw in March. So this is from this point here. If we take all of my lines off, I'm not going to like to do this. We've been holding on to these lines for a while. We'll pull them back up in a second. If we delete all of these lines off the chart and draw this on, we can see clearly on the daily chart. But while I'm doing this, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button. If we take a look at this chart here and we take a look at this movement across here, we can see we've definitely had a level of support on the daily chart since the 18th of March. We have bounced that over and over again. We have now unfortunately broken below it. for this head and shoulders pattern to be confirmed, I would expect us to just close today's daily candle around this current price here, and this would be a confirmation that this level of support is going to act as a level of resistance. If we start to see some movements to the downside, this could be a confirmation bounce for us, then we could start to see that move to the downside. So let's take a look here. I would take the prediction from here to here, and if we were to do that, this is going to be super duper bearish, and $24,500. However, we do actually have a level of previous resistance here at that $24,800 level. So that potentially could hold strong and start to act as a level of support. If not, I would be looking at around this point here at 23,800. But that's an interesting range to be in because that has acted like a previous level of resistance. Again, over here as well. So this is showing the importance of this zone right here. So we do have many different levels of resistance at that point that would, I believe, start to act as a level of support if that head and shoulders pattern is true and is confirmed. If we do see that level of support acting as a level of resistance right now, we should be keeping an eye on that. Let's continue with some Bitcoin analysis, and then actually, no, let's do the Chainlink analysis first. So we can see here that Chainlink has failed to break the $10 ceiling a year after Luna's collapse. So we can see here, we have the price chart here. The price has been slugging along, really not doing that much. We can see here that Chainlink lost its psychological support level due to the collapse of Luna back in May 22, so a very long time ago now, and the caused shockwaves in the crypto industry still can be felt today. So they've been really struggling to get back above that $10 level, and falling wedges are considered bullish chart patterns. Therefore, in the event of a positive breakout, Link could see a move to the upside from the current chart pattern that it is in according to this analyst. However, it's just really been struggling for the last year. So that is something we need to keep an eye on. I like taking a look at projects that are struggling just before a bull market, but we do need to keep an eye on that and see what's going on there. It's an interesting project. It's something that I'm going to take a look at after today's stream. Let's continue with the price of Bitcoin, though. We do need to do some Bitcoin analysis. I have no idea what's going on with TradingView this morning. It's telling me here that I'm looking at the Ethereum chart, but I'm clearly looking at the Bitcoin chart here. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin with our current lines here anyway. Again, I would like to point out, I've not changed these lines in months. We've been looking at these lines on the price chart here on these live streams like every single day for about a month now, and the price of Bitcoin has been respecting them really, really nicely. If we take a look at the chart here, this is our zone of support at 26,900 to 26,600. This has bounced perfectly. If we take a look at the 4-hour chart, you can see we definitely have this level of resistance at 27,700 that we need to keep an eye on. We also have a zone of resistance up at 28,600 to 28,800, but we do need to be aware of that, obviously, head and shoulders pattern. Now, I wouldn't class this as a confirmed head and shoulders pattern until we see this rejection and move to the downside. If we see a candle close above the $27,700 level today, that head and shoulders pattern is not confirmed. It's rejected. So that is something we need to keep an eye on. This isn't a confirmed head and shoulders pattern just yet. So I am still looking at the levels of resistance, the levels of support in this zone to see if they can hold strong and hold us from seeing the dooms of that head and shoulders. But we do need to keep an eye on all of that and just keep all of that in mind. Let's finally take a look at the CME chart before we finish today's stream. So we do have a CME gap from over the weekend down at 26,500. We need to keep an eye on that. We do have one at 29,670, and we have one up at $35,000 too, but we also have one down at $20,000 as well. So it's all looking a bit chaotic on the charts this morning. It's been a good day. Whether that will continue will really depend on the head and shoulders pattern, to be honest. So let's keep an eye on that. That is all we have for today's stream, though. So thank you very much for tuning in with us. As always, I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for everybody that's been speaking in today's chat. It's nice to have a little bit of encouragement there from the chat. So make sure to tune back in tomorrow at 11 a.m. BST time for the latest cryptocurrency news. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all then. Goodbye.